Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. You know where you are. This is Alpha Omega occasionally. You know, I only make videos on this channel when I'm absolutely passionate about what I'm talking about. There's no point in me just making excuse me. The reason for that was this. It's Friday night. I'm on a night off. When I say I'm on a night off, I'm on a night off from the Big Picture El Panorama. And I've been meaning to make this video for a couple of days. It's about a couple of days. I'll tell you what happened. I'll cut to the chase. But before I cut to the chase, I'll just tell you this. Thai people, and I'd say this, a lot of people criticize me, for being negative about Thailand. I'm not being negative about Thailand. I'm not negative about Thailand at all. Thai people are amongst the most friendly, welcoming, all the rest of it. I've said it all before. And if you live in Thailand, if you've been to Thailand, you know what I'm talking about. But you see, when they get on the road, it's completely different. It's like a Jekyll and Hyde situation. I had an incident, a potential road rage. When I say potential, you'll know when I tell you. A potential road rage incident where the other party got out of his car and approached the driver's side window. I had the window open, and we had a verbal altercation. And I'll tell you how it happened and why it happened and the result of what happened. I was driving Harry, my son, to school yesterday morning, and the road that I was on, there's a kind of if you allow me to say this, I mean, I don't know if I'm telling this correctly, but there's a kind of it's almost a 45-degree bend. It's not a junction, it's a bend. So there's a continuous, we say white line back in Ireland, but it's a yellow line here. But it's a continuous line, which means you cannot cross the line. So it's a continuous, line, and it's a sheer bend. And there's a road of lesser importance right in front of you. Like, I'm coming this way and I'm turning this way, and there's a road directly in front of me. When I say of lesser importance, it's a minor road and I'm on a main road. And there's a yellow box at the junction. It is a junction for the guys coming from the minor road onto the major road. But for me, on the main road, it's not a junction. It's just a continuum of it's a curve. It's a curve, not a junction. It's a bend. But what happened was, this guy was there's no point. I'll tell you what he was driving. He was driving a Corolla. This guy was driving a Corolla, and he came out of the minor road. Didn't stop at the yellow, or didn't avoid the yellow box. You're supposed to sit outside the yellow box until the coast is clear. He came straight through, crossed the yellow meridian, the line, and in my path. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. If that's him, this is me. I'm turning on the bend. It's not a junction. I'm on the bend. I've got the right of way, and he came straight out in front of me. So I beeped the horn, and it was a prolonged beep. Beep like this. He stopped, and then my heart was in my mouth, because my wife has told me many times that Thais are very friendly and all the rest of it, but they got a very short fuse, especially on the road. And I didn't know what was going to happen. Like, it felt like about 2 or 3 minutes, or probably a couple of seconds, but he stopped, and he didn't get out of the car straight away. But then he got out of the car and he approached very aggressively to my driver's side window. I put the window down, or I had the window down, and he said to me in Thai, "Phai silum," which is the yellow light. The yellow light. There's an amber flashing light from where he was. That indicates to give way to the traffic that has priority. But as far as he was concerned, he had the right of way, and he came right through. Now, I said to him in English, because I was angry, but I didn't display any anger. I just said, it's a continuous line. You cannot cross it. I have priority. And he went effing and blinding, and he went on his merry way. But he was in front of me all the way until I got to the school, which was about half a kilometre on from that. So as I pulled in to the school, I had to make a left turn in. There's 2 lanes, so I was behind him. So to make the turn into the school, I had to come in on his outside, because we drive on the left here, on his outside, and turn into the school. But as I turned into the school, so I was now at a right angle to him. He was here, I was here. There was a police officer on point duty at the school. They always are, because there's people coming and going and all the rest of it that hour of the morning. And he stopped his car, and I could see him in the rear view mirror. I actually could see, and it was like a big screen TV almost. I could see exactly what he was doing. He told the officer that I was in the wrong in terms of what I did. And he went on his way. And I was saying to myself, I dropped Harry off, did a U-turn, was coming back out at the entrance, and I was waiting for the police officer to nab me, but he didn't. But the thing is, Thais have no idea about the rules of the road, and that's I'm not criticising, it's a fact. It's a fact. If you're on a roundabout here, in Europe, you stop at the roundabout and allow the traffic on the roundabout. The traffic on the roundabout have priority. Here, it doesn't matter. You just go on, and the traffic on the roundabout has to yield to you, has to give way to you. So, in this case, I was in the right, but he was convinced he was in the right, and I was the stupid Farang. And this kind of thing, if you have any experience in driving in Thailand, specifically Bangkok, but if you have any experience in driving in Thailand, you know what I'm talking about. I did the driving test here because I couldn't. By the way, if you come here and you have your American driver's license, or your Irish driver's license, or your Australian or your British driver's license, you can swap it for a Thai driver's license. But I didn't have mine. I lost my Irish driver's license, and I had to do the test. I did it out in Minbury, and the test, I'll be honest, I'll just tell you the truth. I'm not saying it is, but I'll tell you from my point of view, it's a joke. This was what I did 11 years ago. I don't know what it's like now, but again, I don't quote statistics. I always say from my own experience. They give you an A4 sheet of paper, and you put it on the dash on the passenger side as a number, and you're driving your car, and it's a circuit. You're not on the main road, and there's no instructor sitting in the car with you, and a guy on a megaphone starts giving you instructions in Thai, Leo Sai, Leo Kwa, and all the rest of it, and that's all it is. So they say Leo Sai, Leo Kwa, and you have to reverse into a box, and that's your test. So if that's the test, is it any wonder that they haven't got a clue? And they don't, and I mean this, they don't have a clue about the rules of the road. Continuous white lines, it doesn't matter. Broken white lines, it doesn't matter. They don't know the difference. But I was a little bit, I won't say put out as saying it mildly, but I was a little bit worried when he stopped in front of me. Because I blew down. Now, you might say, why did I blow the horn, or whatever, but he cut me off, and they do it all the time. They cut you off all the time. It's a culture here, it's a driving culture here, and, I just say that you got to get used to a lot of things in living in Thailand. And, by the way, it's a wonderful place to live, and I love living here, and I love the culture, and I love the Thai people and all the rest of it, but driving, they are a different animal, completely different animal. They don't give a shit about you. They drive as if they're the only people on the road. They do. That's what they do. And you've got to I normally swallow my pride. I normally just sort of say, okay, I don't get involved. But yesterday morning, driving my son to school, he cut me off. I had the right of way on the major road, and he just cut me off. And the worst thing about it was, he thought he was in the right. And he thought so much he was in the right, that he actually offered his account to a police officer that was on point duty. And I was ready. When I was coming back out of the school there after, when I did the U-turn and was coming back out, I was ready for if I was being accosted or I was being questioned for what I did of blowing the horn, because an absolute idiot doesn't understand the rules of the road. And I'm not saying that's indicative of Thai people, but they don't understand the international rules of the road. They just don't. and it's a pain in the ass. And if you have an accident with a Thai, you know, you're making a left-hand turn. I've said this before. We drive on the left. You're making a left-hand turn, and a motorcycle, what they do is they undertake you. And if you hit him, because he's in the wrong, but if you hit him when he's undertaking you, you're the one that has to foot the bill for his hospital bill or whatever. It's happened to me before. So, again, I'll say that I'm not being negative. You might say I'm being negative, but it's not being negative. It's an observation. It's sharing with you how absolutely ludicrous the way Thais drive, the ludicrous way Thais drive. It's little wonder that they're up in I don't know what the figure is now. They had the second highest rate of road fatalities in the world per 100,000 people. I don't know what it is now, but it's way up there. It's way up there. I don't know, I think it's 60 people per day die on the roads of Thailand. You see, and nothing is done. Nothing is done to counteract this. You know, it's just the way it is. But look, I wanted to share this with you because I'm getting eaten by mosquitoes here, absolutely eaten alive. But I want the things I go through to bring a video. But as I said, I only make videos when I'm passionate, and this is something that's really, every day they drive on the wrong side of the road. I've had motorcyclists on the wrong side of the road telling me to move over to let them go, but I'm in the right. I'm in my lane, and they're over the meridian, and they're driving on the wrong side of the road, and they usher you away from them. I've had a standoff with a Thai once, motorcycle taxi guy. He was on the wrong side of the road because the traffic was, I hate the term chock-a-block, but it was, and he pulled out into the oncoming traffic, and we had a standoff. I couldn't go anywhere because he was in front of me, and he was so agitated. He went like this for me to move over, and I had to, because they were beating me from behind. You know, it's absolutely incredible. But look, you might have had the same experience or a similar experience, but let me know if you have. I'd be glad. I'd be very interested to know how you feel about the way Thais drive. You know, they do things their own way, and it's not for me to issue instruction to them or to correct them. But from my point of view, after 11 years, almost 12 years living here, it's one of the things that you cannot get used to because it's a matter of road safety. So there you go. If you've enjoyed this video, lads, make sure you click the like button, the share button, subscribe button, do all those wonderful things, and I'll bring you back another wonderful video very soon. Thanks for joining me.